Hi there, this is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, and welcome to another box set battle. This is an Indicator 3-way special, and today's battle is between the John Ford at Columbia set, the Fu Manchu set, and Five Tall Tales, Boetticher and Randolph Scott Westerns. So the John Ford and Fu Manchu are still available on Indicator's website. The Randolph Scott Boetticher is now out of print, but I'm sure you'll be able to pick it up on secondary markets. I now only have 2 Indicator box sets still to watch. That's the Sam Fuller one and the Joseph von Sternberg and Marlene Dietrich one, which I'm looking forward to. But I'll just go through these, a quick overview of the films, a quick overview of the extras, and then I will make my decision of who the winner is as far as overall quality and which ones you should try and buy. So we'll start with the Randolph Scott Boetticher series of westerns with the lovely cover. The artwork on these are always really nice and colourful. So this is 5 films. This is number 1277 of 6000, if anybody's interested in those kind of things. Like I say, this is now out of print. So we have The Tall Tea, which is from 1957. Decision at Sundown, which is 1957. Buchanan Rides Alone, 1958. Ride Lonesome, 1959. And Comanche Station from 1960. Again, with these box sets you do get a lovely booklet, and there's the smiling face of Boetticher, who is a character to say the least. Again, lovely booklet as you'd expect from Indicator, and we have 5 films in 3 cases. It's by number 62 to 66. So we have The Tall Tea and Decision at Sundown, each with reversible artwork, so you can pick which one you want on the front. You have Buchanan Rides Alone and Ride Lonesome on separate discs, which is good rather than putting 2 films on one disc. And you have Comanche Station, which I've flipped the artwork to this nice orange one. That's the artwork in the original one. All these 5 westerns are under 80 minutes, but that's not a bad thing. As bizarre as that sounds, because they are so good, they are compact, there's no excess meat on the bone, they're simple, low budget, but also quite wonderful. Randolph Scott pretty much plays this stoic character, usually a loner, who gets involved with situations and tries to do the right thing. He doesn't say a lot, but he has a code of honour. He's rather gentlemanly amongst the ladies. Can be a bit irascible and stubborn. He's kind of he prefigures the man with no name to some extent. But they're wonderful little films. As far as I'm concerned, they're all 4-star films. Decision at Sundown is a standout, where he turns up in a town to kill a guy on his wedding day, which doesn't happen all the time, because he wronged his wife. But very much like the Bravados with Gregory Peck, that might not actually be the truth. Ride Lonesome is fantastic again, a little bit like Anti-Man's Naked Spur, about vengeance, and there's 2 actors who are very young that pop up that would be more famous in the future, would go on to bigger, better things, one of whom is in the picture I've chosen for this video. This was his first film. So the extras on this are rather impressive. There's a John Player lecture with Bud Boetticher, who, like I say, is a character. Did bullfighting, was an athlete, was a boxer, was a football player. His views on modern cinema are hilarious. That's from 1969. There's a Guardian interview from 1994 with Bud Boetticher. There's a 1999 documentary with Bud Boetticher on this Ran-owned cycle, because it was produced by Randolph Scott and Harry Brown, I believe. The Guardian interview with Elmer Leonard, because The Tall Tea, the first film, is actually based on Elmer Leonard's story. There's an audio commentary on The Tall Tea with Janine Basinger. There's a Ride Lonesome audio commentary with Jeremy Arnold. Comanche Station audio commentary with Taylor Hackford. There's Martin Scorsese intros on The Tall Tea and Ride Lonesome. Taylor Hackford intros on Decision at Sundown and Buchanan Rides Alone. There's a Clint Eastwood one on Comanche Station. There's Playing in the Open, which is an analysis from 2018 of Ride Lonesome. Christopher Frayling has an extra on Bud Boetticher from 2018, which is excellent. Kim Newman from 2018 on the Ran-on cycle. And another 2018, A Man Alone, A Portrait of Randolph Scott, by film historian Edward Buscombe. The Super 8 versions. There's a Ride Lonesome trailer commentary by John Sayles from 2013. There's a trailer commentary by Sam Hamm. And there's essays in the booklet, of course. So that's 5 Tall Tales. Spine number 62 to 66. Then we'll go to the latest box set, which is the Fu Manchu cycle. This is 1965 to 1969. This is number 56 of 6,000. Again, beautiful artwork, nice orange. So this has 5 Fu Manchu films in there in the slim boxes, very much like the Marlene Dietrich Joseph von Sternberg. This is spine number 201 to 205. And this has The Face of Fu Manchu from 1965, The Brides of Fu Manchu from 1966, The Vengeance of Fu Manchu from 1967, The Blood of Fu Manchu from 1968, The Castle of Fu Manchu from 1969. Nazarene Prod, which I'll leave a link to, did a really good video in depth into the films in this set. The first one's really good. The next two are enjoyable fun, and 4 and 5 aren't really that good at all. They're done by Jess Franco, but again, you do get a beautiful book, a really thick one. It seems thicker than the Boetticher one. I mean, if you put aside obviously the socio-political problems with these films, their 4K scans. The Face of Fu Manchu has a commentary by Stephen Jones and Kim Newman. The Brides and Vengeance of Fu Manchu have commentary with Kevin Lyons and Jonathan Rigby. The Blood of Fu Manchu has a commentary with David Flint and Adrian J. Smith. There's interviews with directors Don Sharp and Jeremy Summers and cinematographer Ernest Stewart. There's a location interview with Christopher Lee in 1965. There's a Wonderful Guardian interview with Christopher Lee in 1994. There's an introduction to all films by Vic Pratt, who's a BFI curator. And there's discussions of the Fu Manchu novels and films by Christopher Frayling, Kim Newman, Jonathan Rigby, Stephen Thrower. And there's interviews with Rosalia Neri, who's in the Castle of Fu Manchu, crew members, an archival interview with Harry Alan Towers, who produced and wrote some of the films. There's 2 episodes of the silent films. There's the Jeremy Summers directed children's film, The Ghost of Monk Island from 1966. Theatrical trailers, and also a 120-page booklet. And again, that's spine number 201 to 205. That's the Fu Manchu. And then we have the John Ford at Columbia, which is 4 films. This is number 43 of 6,000. There's the artwork. Not perhaps quite as striking as the artwork in the other 2 box sets. So this is 4 films. The Whole Town's Talking from 1935. The Long Grey Line from 1955. Gideon's Day from 1958. And The Last Hurrah from 1958. And again, they all have their individual cases, and they all have individual booklets rather than big book. So that's The Whole Town's Talking. That's the booklet. It's with Edward G. Robinson. The Long Grey Line, Tyrone Power. Gideon's Day with Jack Hawkins. And The Last Hurrah with Spencer Tracy. So I'll just quickly go through the special features in these. There's not as many special features in the John Ford set. The 2K restorations, the True Blue, a video essay on John Ford. Leonard Maitland gives short intros to all of them. Super 8 version. Gideon's Day has 2 presentations, the UK title sequence and the alternate US. There's a commentary by Charles Barr. There's an interview with Freddie Young. The 10-minute video essay. Continuity Supervisor Elaine Sherrick talks about working with John Ford. Leonard Maitland, a 29-minute appreciation by Adrian Wooten. John Ford and Lindsay Anderson, 5-minute footage of them visiting London's NFT in 1958. Gideon's London, a view to the film's locations. The Long Grey Line is a 4K restoration, an audio commentary with Diane Drum, Glenn Kenny and Farron Smith Nehim from 2020. A 17-minute video essay, 6-minute introduction by Leonard Maitland again, a 10-minute rare promotional film for the US Treasury Department featuring the principal cast of The Long Grey Line. Obviously you get the booklet, and then The Whole Town's Talking, 4K restoration, again 7-minute video essay by Tag Gallagher, Leonard Maitland again, an appreciation by Sheldon Hall, 23 minutes. Writer and critic Pamela Hutchinson discusses the life and career of Jean Arthur, which is very good, which is an 18. There's a radio version, 53 minutes. It's The Whole Town Talking. So that's kind of an overview, and again the John Ford one, the spine number is 172 to 175. So that's kind of an overview of the box sets. So I will now make my judgment in this box set battle. So I would say in third place is the John Ford at Columbia set. Now my reasons for saying this are, from an aesthetic point of view, the artwork isn't the best. I would say from an extras point of view, it doesn't have as interesting extras. From the film's point of view, I'm not the biggest John Ford fan. The Whole Town's Talking with Edward G. Robinson, who gets mistaken as a famous bank robber, is absolutely wonderful and almost worth the price of the box set because it's an absolute blast. The Long Grey Line with Tyrone Power, based on the true story of somebody who lived and worked at West Point for like 50 years. For me is really jingoistic and sentimental, and Tyrone Power has a terrible Irish accent throughout the whole film because obviously John Ford loved Ireland. It's way too long. It's 137 minutes and it really should have been like 100. Gideon's Day is a lot of fun with Jack Hawkins, which literally follows him as a policeman around for a day, but because it's episodic in nature, it doesn't quite hang together as well, but it's still a lot of fun. You know, he's concentrating on getting some salmon home for his tea, meanwhile there's bank robberies and rape, murders and trivial stuff mixed with serious stuff. It's a bit of a hodgepodge, but it's still a lot of fun. And The Last Hurrah, which is about Spencer Tracy running for mayor of the town for the last time again. It's fun, but it's a bit sentimental, and again overlong at 121 minutes. So that's probably the reasons that I would put John Ford at number 3 out of these box sets. This is one I know Indicator just had a sale, because I've pretty much completed my Indicator collection. I would probably say, because this is still in print, I don't think it's going to go out of print anytime soon. If you're interested, I would probably wait for next year's sale and get it for like 30 quid. instead of like 45 or 43, which is what it usually is. Or if you see it on Amazon cheap, I would pick it up, but I certainly probably wouldn't pay full price for it. The Whole Time's Talking is definitely worth it though, because that's an absolute gem. Even if you waited until they perhaps released The Whole Time's Talking in a single edition. But to be honest, I don't think this box set's going to be that popular, so that might not actually happen. The prints are really good, but again, the extras aren't great, and with the exception of The Whole Town's Talking, the films aren't really that great either. In second place, I would probably put in the Fu Manchu set. Now, this is an example of perhaps the films. The films on average are probably actually worse than the John Ford set, but the extras on this set are just ridiculously good. I don't know whether they perhaps felt that after, the first couple of films, the quality of the films they know kind of goes downhill pretty quickly. The two Jess Franco films are not very good at all. So I don't know whether they put the extra effort in the extras in this lovely box. The commentaries, which I've still to listen to, but they are with my favourite kind of critics, Stephen Jones and Kim Newman and Kevin Lyons and Jonathan Rigby, Christopher Frayling. All the video essays are long and really interesting. Christopher Frayling's is about 50 minutes, 45 minutes or something like that, and that's really good. Lots of history of the productions, and Kim Newman and Jonathan Rigby and Stephen Thrower are very good. The book's beautiful. So this is probably an example of a set that the extras and the presentation elevates it above the actual films, because you're not really going to watch these films very often, let's be honest. Again, I think for cult value, this one might actually sell out eventually, but again, I would probably wait for this to see if you can get it cheaper, wait for a sale, because it's probably not worth full price. I mean, if you're just interested in the films and you don't bother with extras, then I probably wouldn't recommend this box. But if you like your extras and commentaries and fascinating stories about the production of films, then I would certainly recommend this box set. But by the end of the films, you kind of almost feel sorry for Fu Manchu, because he's just like standing there going, "Oh, the world will kneel at my feet and know my power," and it's like as if the world's not really listening. But I'd put that in second place, which means, unfortunately, the one that I would put in first place is the one that's out of print, but I'm sure you can find it on secondary markets. Might be a little bit more expensive. Five Tall Tales, Bud Boetticher and Randolph Scott at Columbia, 57 to 60, because these films are awesome. Obviously, if you don't like westerns, you might not be interested in it, but there's kind of more stuff going on than just westerns. It's just so good. The extras are wonderful. Again, the commentaries I haven't listened to, but I will. The interviews with Bud Boetticher are absolutely hilarious. He does have some. I mean, he's a bit of a jerk and a bit kind of. He's not the most humble person you'll ever hear, but he certainly does have a lot of funny and amusing anecdotes. The films themselves are beautifully restored, and they're so good. I mean, I would give all of them 4-star out of 5 reviews. They're wonderful. Decision at Sundown and Ride Lonesome and The Tall Tea are standout ones, but Buchanan Rides Alone in Comanche Station I would still give 4 stars. It's an absolutely wonderful set. I'm glad I eventually got around to watching it. It's been a while I've had it, but I would certainly highly recommend picking up Five Tall Tales. Hopefully, if you're interested, you can find it in secondary markets and it's not too expensive. But like I said, it is sold out. But I believe they have released standard editions. I could be wrong, but I think they've started to release the standard editions of the 5 films, so you can actually pick them up individually. Which I would do if you're a fan of westerns. They're essential. Yeah, they're just so good. And because, again, like I said, they're all under 80 minutes, but that's actually a good thing. It's actually an object lesson for young filmmakers, old filmmakers. We all know who they are, that could do with cutting down their stuff. And Boetticher's films are so economical, but you still have lots of character. There's not actually that much action in them. They're kind of similar to the Anthony Mann, James Stewart westerns, which is a good thing because they're awesome as well. Yeah, so the winner of this box set battle indicator 3-way is the Bud Boetticher Randolph Scott 5 Tall Tales. So let me know in the comments below if you disagree with this order that I've put them in, and why. Which ones are your favourite films in these sets, whether you have the sets or not. And hopefully you'll join me again for more box set battles. Obviously the box set battles don't happen very often because I actually have to watch the box sets. Like I say, I've only got 2 more indicator box sets to watch, but obviously I'm very excited because the Columbia Noir set is coming soon, and they've announced that their Columbia Noir Volume 2 will be coming out next year, so very excited about that. Yeah, Indicator continues to knock out the park. As I said, I recently picked up the titles that I needed to complete my Indicator collection. Obviously I haven't watched them all. Once I do that, I will do a complete Indicator backlog cleared video, but that's probably going to be a little bit, that'll be next year sometime, because they are wonderful. Yes, you can argue they perhaps don't have great films and too many masterpieces in their collection, but they always put really a lot of care into their releases. They have great extras, and they always have these hidden gems that you're not expecting much from, and then they end up being amazing. I'm also really excited because it does look, by the photographic hint that they had in their last newsletter, that Mamet's Things Change is possibly going to be coming to Indicator, which is just awesome because it's on a DVD flip, an A-side, B-side DVD at the moment, and Things Change is an absolute gem. So I'm really looking forward to that if that comes to fruition. Obviously Schrader's Light Sleeper is coming in January, which is awesome as well. Devil in a Blue Dress with Denzel Washington is coming out, which I absolutely adore. Yeah, so Indicator continue to impress. Their box sets are always worth a look. So hopefully you enjoyed this video and you'll join me again for more box set battles. This is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, saying farewell.